Hello, everybody, and welcome to Finding Your Innergator podcast, where we talk about discipline, relationships, and the habits that release the greatness that is already inside of you. I'm your host, Wright, and I am so glad that you're here. In each episode, we'll explore powerful lessons, real-life stories, and practical strategies to help you live intentionally, build meaningful relationships, and unlock your full potential. But greatness isn't something you stumble into. It's something that is built every single day. So let's get started and begin the journey to finding your Innergator. All right, everybody, welcome back. I am so glad that you're here. This is your host, Wright, and you are listening to Finding Your Innergator. I hope that this is helping you. You know, over the past few episodes, we've been walking through the entire Innergator framework. It's built around the acronym Greatness Achieved Through Optimizing Relationships. And if you go back to episode 1, really that first episode, it explains the story, how that was derived. And as it's grown, we've been able to talk about the daily disciplines, right? And how each letter of GATOR actually represents a daily discipline. Get clear, act with discipline, track your progress, optimize relationships, reflect, and reset. In episode 2, we talked about getting clear and defining what matters. In episode 3, last week, we talked about acting with discipline and protecting those priorities. Today, we're going to talk about a third discipline. This is where things get real. Track your progress. You know, why does tracking matter? Here's a truth that I've learned over the years, and many of you have ever heard me speak, or actually, if we've probably been talking for 15 minutes, there's 2 or 3 things I probably said to you. One of them is what you focus on expands, and the other is if you measure it, you can manage it, and if you manage it, you can improve it. If you don't measure it, you're only guessing. Most people think they're making progress in life. But honestly, let's be honest about it. They are really just hoping they are. Ladies and gentlemen, high performers do not guess. They track, they measure, they evaluate, they adjust. Because what gets measured does improve. There's an honesty factor here, right? Tracking does something powerful. It forces honesty. Think about it. When you start measuring your effort, you can't hide from the truth. Did you make the calls that you said you would make? You can write down whatever you want to, but you know the truth, right? Did you work on the priorities that you wrote down? Did you invest time into the relationships that matter? Tracking just doesn't measure success. Listen to me. Listen. Tracking just doesn't measure success. It reveals consistency, and consistency is what creates real progress. I got to say that one more time because I think that is so important. That tracking, when you're measuring something, you're tracking it. It's not just tracking. Just doesn't measure the success of what you're doing. It reveals consistency, and consistency is what creates real progress. Look, put it this way. Many of you know, if you've listened to this at all, you know I'm around here. I'm Captain RB. I love to fish. I fish a lot of tournaments. I've learned something about fishing over the years. Successful fishermen, high performers, they pay attention to the details. They're tracking the water temperature. They're tracking the cloud cover. They're tracking the lunar conditions. They're tracking the tides. They know where the fish were yesterday and where they might be tomorrow. Why? Listen, this is valuable. Patterns reveal opportunities. Life works the same way. When you track your actions, you start seeing patterns. You start noticing what works. You start noticing what doesn't. That knowledge gives you an advantage. Now, here's where people make things too complicated, right? What should I track? Why should I track, RB? Tracking doesn't need to be complex. You don't have to have all these spreadsheets with formulas and complicated systems. You just need awareness. Here's a few simple things you can track every day. Your daily priorities. Did you complete the 3 things that matter most? Your relationships. Did you invest time in people who matter? Your habits. Did you follow the routines that move your life forward? Your progress towards the goal. Are you moving forward? Are you like we talked about last week? Are you drifting happily down the waterway? Those simple questions can change everything. I believe that progress compounds, right? We talk about the value of investing and how you get that compound interest, but in relationships and doing things over and over, progress compounds. The real power of tracking shows up over time. The small improvements, repeated daily, stacked week after week, month after month, that's how progress compounds. If you don't track the small wins, you're going to miss the progress that's happening. And what happens then? When people don't feel like they're progressing, guess what they do? Oh, this ain't working. They quit. Tracking reminds you that progress is happening, even when it's slow. All right. This is where we let the Innergator show up. Remember what we said from the beginning. Every person listening to this podcast has greatness inside of them, and that greatness inside of you is your Innergator. But greatness doesn't show up by accident. It shows up through the clarity, through the discipline, and through the awareness to measure your progress along the way. Tracking keeps you honest, but it also keeps you encouraged, because it shows you that your effort matters. Here's my challenge for you this week. Start tracking something important in your life. Just one thing. Maybe it's your daily priorities. Maybe it's your habits. Maybe it's the number of meaningful conversations that you're having. Whatever it is, start measuring it. Because when you measure something, you manage it. And when you manage it, it improves. Next week, we're going to talk about the 4th discipline in the entire Innergator framework. And honestly, in my opinion, this one's had probably the greatest impact. All of them have impacted me. But this one might be the most powerful one of them all. Optimizing relationships. Because, guys, the truth is, no one achieves greatness alone. We're trying to do this together, right? It's all about relationships. All right. I hope you win this week. Hope you have a great week. And I look forward to talking to you next Monday. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Finding Your Innergator podcast. If today's episode helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, greatness is achieved through discipline, intentional action, and optimizing the relationships around you. I look forward to getting with you next week. Now, go Gatorize your day.